Good evening, everyone. Good evening, United States. Good evening, planet Earth. Good evening, everyone everywhere. I am Dana, the Angry Citizen, and coming to you today on Monday, April 29th, 2024, with a very good friend and ally of mine, whose efforts have made a significant impact in the area of the spreading the truth about what's going on in the country, in the various states, and in the world. A woman I love and respect tremendously as a friend and ally, and very pleased to have her with me with hopefully some updates about her progress. And the newspaper in question, the thing that I am talking about, that we're talking about, which was founded by her, is called The Flame. It is a newspaper, also available in electronic form. It's available anywhere. You can get a subscription very inexpensively if you go to theflameusa.com and subscribe. I strongly recommend you do, because this is unfiltered information. No one's asking permission. I've written a couple of articles for them, and I'm thrilled that I was able to do that, and looking forward to some more. Yesterday, I did an interview with a gentleman who's running for governor in California. His name's Daniel Mercury. I hope you caught that. If you didn't, you can see it on my Facebook and YouTube channels. And I'm going to write an article about him, submit that to the Flame. If we can get more candidates in office that are constitutionally minded, we can see our constitutional republic restored. So now the first step in taking any action is always information. Where we get our information, people still unfortunately rely on the mainstream media. The mainstream media is entirely corrupted based on a concept called Operation Mockingbird. They're simply echoing a message that's given to them. And you can tell if you watch, there's always vague headlines about growing fears. And when they describe things like if a storm is coming, a hurricane, they say the hurricane is taking aim. See, it's all very sinister and bad and frightening, growing fears, growing concerns. The truth is widely censored, which is why the amazing ladies at The Flame created it. And I'm thrilled to have one of them so far here with me. Hopefully the other one will join us soon. My friend and ally and amazing sister, Anna from The Flame. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you, Dana, for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited for the fact that in all this conflict that's been going on over these years, you and Nicole stand as staunch allies. I've lost a few. You know how it is. Everyone talks a big game, and they're all going to change the world. But then there's always egos and misunderstandings and broken promises and mind games. And, the dust settles. Who's left?
Deep state.
You. Yeah.
So I think as you were talking in the beginning, you definitely hit a key subject, and that is mainstream media, Mockingbird, censorship, and we are in an informational war. That's really what it comes down to. We have the deep state, we have mainstream media, and they work hand in hand, and they decide what the American people are going to think, how they're going to think. And they are going to consistently try to tell you that what you see right in front of you isn't really what's happening. And it has been a rough go for the last 2 years, because we do paper, and it's for the people by the people. And so we allow anybody to write, and it's crazy the information that we get from people that are in organizations or in the government, or doctors and nurses and lawyers, stating like, no, what you're hearing is not what's happening. I'm working in these departments, and they're massively corrupt, and they're not telling us the truth. And so it is important to have people like you, your show, to be speaking about that. At the end of the day, I think that we, as Americans, are winning the informational war, because we have people stepping up and stepping out, getting involved, doing podcasts, citizen journalism on a consistent basis. The internet is beautiful. It, yes, is highly censored, but it does give an avenue for the people that are willing to step up and step out.
Well, I've said many times, I think you know this, I'm sure you've heard me say it, that the truth bears scrutiny. It's just very simple. Someone tells you, I can eat 50 eggs. For those of you who don't know this reference, check it out sometime. It's an old movie. I can eat 50 eggs. Well, you either can or you can't. And at the end of the day, you're going to sit down, you're going to eat 50 eggs. Are you going to admit, no, I can't, I lied, or I was wrong, I overstepped my, capacity? The truth bears scrutiny. And so when people talk about misinformation and they talk about conspiracy theories, and I've done a video on conspiracy theories, and I explained using very cold hard rational scientific logic why there is no such thing as a conspiracy theorist. A theory is a scientific principle that says I believe that a certain thing is true. Scientist then follows that up by testing it to see if it does in fact prove to be true or if it proves to be incorrect. And I said this yesterday on my podcast with Daniel Mercury, and I try to say it every time. Those of us that are telling you, the American people, the truth about anything, we're not saying don't listen to anyone that disagrees with us. If someone says we're wrong, they're lying. Don't believe them. Don't listen to them.
We're
Close
doing
your
the
ears.
opposite.
Go la 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 la. Exactly. We say, don't believe us. Don't take our word for it. I found this information. You can find it too. If you want to think that toxic injections are safe and effective, you can think that. But have you ever actually looked into it? Have you really delved into it? When people talk about airplanes spraying chemicals in our skies, you go, oh, no, that's just the trail that's naturally left behind. You're a conspiracy theorist. Again, they've been neatly dismissed. Have you ever looked into it? Have you ever actually done any research about it? When the city of Lahaina is flattened, not just burned with structures left charred, flattened with specific structures untouched, doesn't that make you suspicious? Wouldn't you want to dig into this and find out? They don't. So when I post things that are in any way contrary to the will of the dark overlords, as you know, I am immediately punished for that. They take it down. They'll send me a warning. You're not allowed to say this. It's dangerous misinformation. So along comes Anna and Nicole from The Flame and say, hey, here's a paper. Now, you can read the paper and you decide if it's misinformation. You decide. This Dana guy, this some nut job in Maine writes an article about the sheriffs. We'll read the article and evaluate it, judge it for yourself if you believe it or not, if it's true or not. The truth bears scrutiny. So, and folks, I'm telling you, right, you can read the paper for yourself and you can decide if they're lying to you. If the mainstream media tells you they're lying, they're probably telling you the truth. So now we also have waiting in the wings the amazing counterpart to Anna, my friend, ally, sister, Nicole.
Hi.
Hi, glad you could make it.
Me too. I rushed home and I'm dealing with a little bit of corruption myself on a personal level. And it's making me realize, it's in everything. The corruption is intertwined into every system, every government system.
Yes.
And everything we do. There's payoffs in the back rooms, for PPOs and HMOs. There's bonus pools for doctors to get paid by doing certain things. They make it seem all legit, but really it's not. And so I'm starting to get mad. And the thing is, I'm starting to be an angry citizen. And the thing is that we do a paper, and I try not to pull the paper card out too much or how much research has been done. And when you get in a situation on a personal level, whether it's being on, you got vaccinated and they were going to fire you for not, or you didn't get vaccinated,
Right.
and we're going to fire you, or the mask mandates, but it's in every little part. Farm, if you don't do this procedure, you got to get this procedure, and there's healing remedies and all that. But we're in this world system. And so I try not to say, oh, we do a paper and we do a podcast. But today, literally, and last week, I literally pulled that card and said, this might make a good documentary. I know a few people, this General Flynn just had a documentary, like him or hate him. When we went to his thing, the screening last week, it was well done. And it's exposed to things that most people wouldn't think of knowing about. And he did it in a very well laid out manner. And I love his heart. So me personally, I love him. But the point is the documentation, the truth bears scrutiny, and the documentation is what it is.
Yes.
And so sometimes we got to dig a little deeper, and that's the part that hurts, right? Because then you got to get all the documents, and you got to get them in a chronological order, and you got to do the work. And that's
time
people,
and effort.
I was listening to you and Anna, And I'm thinking that's the part that's hard. And we do the work
Yep.
for you is the point of the flame. Is we're taking our time out to see if something's truthful or at least open somebody's mind into looking at certain topics for themselves. Maybe it's chemtrails, like you were talking about. And maybe we'll have an article on that, and they could look at the geoengineering and the footnotes and see if it's actually true,
Yes.
and they could decide for themselves. It's not
Yes.
to tell people what to think, it's to open them up to thinking. So
Yep.
welcome.
Well
Thank
said.
you for having me. Sorry.
Oh, my pleasure always. But yeah, you get it out of your system. So as you know, I'm very familiar with anger. So I sometimes write. I have, if you could see my whole place here, I have little signs all over the place for various things to remind me and prompt me. And this is one that I wrote for myself. So our anger is, and I talked about this yesterday as well, our anger is righteous anger. We're angry because we see harm being done, because we see injustice being done. There's no accountability, no transparency. The evil is winning, all over the place, or at least that's, my impression. I was reading some notes that I had written myself a couple of years ago, and there was one from someone, this random article I read, and it was about a guy stating that Donald Trump had already seen all this coming. He had federal agents infiltrated into the various voting sites and watermarks on the ballots, and just wait. It's all, these are these reassurances that are vague and misleading, that it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do anything. The white hats are in charge. The good guys are going to, bail you out, which I never accept. I'd like to think that's true. And when I read it, I said, I hope this is true, but I did not accept it as true. I only accept what is true, what can be conclusively proven to me. The evidence leads you to the truth. Truth is a sort of God. So on the subject of financing, I have noticed, and other people have noticed, that the people that are doing bad things seem to have endless money. They do whatever they want. They build whatever they want. They hire whoever they want. They'll build a building, fill it up with computers, hire a bunch of grunts to go in there and do whatever they tell them to do. And they'll spend time on social media trashing me and you and our other guest, who I'm going to bring on right now, my good friend, brother, and ally, we know as Ohio Brett. Brett
Help me
Bohl.
in, Coach Dana.
And
Hi-oh.
who he asks, he comes to me, we meet, he comes to me, he says, who's funding good? Who's helping the ladies at the Flame to fund this incredibly important thing that they're doing? My man Ohio Brett hatches a scheme. Let's visit all 50 states, he says cavalierly. This is like the I'll eat 50 eggs. Sure, go ahead. He's in fact did visit all 50 states, joined me here in Maine for the first and second annual Maine Freedom Rallies, and claims he will join me again for the third annual Maine Freedom Rally.
It's an honor to be on stage again, back in the locker room with Anna and Nicole. They encourage me so much with everything that they do with the Flame USA and being great wives and mothers, and they are so special. They encourage me. But Dana, you and I met the first time when I was honored to blitz all 16 counties in Maine, from York to Aroostook. We met then, so I knew what I was getting into with my buddy Dana. But yes, I want Anna and Nicole to know we got some updates. We are getting in the concert business. I've been talking about it for 3 years, and we have our first Pay It Forward concert moving forward in Toledo, Ohio, where I was blessed to play college football for Nick Saban. Dana, it's going to be special, but being good stewards of money, you have to have a Pay It Forward model. So the whole month of May, we're going to see how big or small the venue is going to be, because we have a strategy of a Pay It Forward model with volunteers that'll be sharing our invite for the Ohio Brett and Friends concert. It'll be country music at the end, but Dana and Anna and Nicole, everybody loves feel-good music from the past. We grew up on this music, and Toledo's so close to Detroit, we may have a Motown little act, but it may be super small concert, or we may fill up the Glass Bowl, which is where the Toledo Rockets play football. But that's my announcement for Anna and Nicole. I didn't want them thinking that I was sleeping at the wheel, because we're going for all 50 states again. 2022, we got it done. All praise be to God. 2023, and I'm stretched. got my ankles taped, and I'm willing to go again in 2024.
Amen, brother.
What date is your event?
I have a big meeting this week with the University of Toledo, and if they play nice, they're going to give me a couple dates, but it's probably going to be the 3rd week in August is the first date that I'm offering up.
So those of you who don't know this guy, if you go to his website, check it out. It's ohiobrett.com, ohiobrett.com, BRETT. And I'm assuming you'll put up some updates there about the concert and so forth. So
I want to come back on. It'll be, you got to go to the Flame USA. That's the only way that you can get information. Or you got to go watch Dana, the Angry Citizen. We'll get it out there. I'm a very simple man, Dana, as you know, but I do have a box of bayonets and I'm ready to charge right next to you.
God bless you. That's the Joshua Chamberlain reference for those who don't know. We revisit that a lot. So check out the story of Joshua Chamberlain and the Battle of Little Round Top. It's an interesting tale. So the 4 of us are actually a pretty tight core unit in America. I got to tell you, I couldn't be happier with my allies. You know, I lamented the ones that came and went, and there were a lot. Okay, they were full of words and promises, and just a few things about people, like they don't keep their word. They don't show up when they're supposed to. They forget about your conversations. You say, I'll help you with this, or I'll do that, or I'll be there, I'll be here, and then they don't. They're, oh yeah, sorry, I was busy, blah blah blah. There's a difference between doing that once in a while. I stood up a guest earlier, and I felt really bad about it, but it was just an innocent mistake on my part. But there are a lot of people that really want fame and glory. They'll say they don't. That's always their first sign. Oh, I don't want fame. I don't want to be famous. I'm just trying to do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing you know, they're just not showing up. Or they're doing their own thing and taking some of your work. I've seen this happen with a few people. It happened to my friend Peggy Hall a few times with other people just all of a sudden taking her stuff and then relabeling it as theirs and then presenting it as if they're the ones doing this thing instead of just giving Peggy the credit she deserves. So they've been falling off, a lot. But I've noticed a few steady on, and these 3 people you're seeing with me right now are at the absolute core of my unit, and I love them all like brothers and sisters and would absolutely do anything for them. They're all very staunch Christians, and good for them. God love them. I'm not a Christian, and yet here we are working together, and I hope that sends a message to you, America. Okay, we don't all have to be the same. We don't all have the same beliefs, whether they be religious, philosophical. We don't have to agree on issues. All we have to agree on is we're constitutional Americans. We want our elected servants to be held accountable. We want transparency. We want them to pay for their crimes. If they're going to crucify Donald Trump, which they are doing, and I'm not a Donald Trump fan, I'm just stating a fact. It's ridiculous what's happening to him. What they're doing is they're showing us the error of our ways by voting that man into office because he actually did want to do what was right for America. And I was very critical of him when he got elected, but I very reluctantly had to concede that he did a good job, and he did, in fact, do the things he said he was going to do. And so what they're doing to him now is not based on fact, truth, law, and evidence. It's a punitive way of discouraging what Donald Trump was doing and stood for, and of punishing all of you who choose and chose to support him. So back to the matter at hand on the truth being the sword of God, that if you've not yet read The Flame, I would urge all of you, please go check it out. You go to theflameusa.com. You can subscribe to The Flame. And again, read it for yourself. Don't accept anyone's word. If they're going to say they're extremist, right wing, whatever label they can slap on it to get you not to look. Don't look at this. Okay. Look at it. Judge it for yourself. Okay. If it's full of lies, they'll show. You'll be able to say, look, this is a lie, and here's the evidence that is a lie. Open your mind and consider the fact that maybe you've been fooled. Maybe our government is, in fact, entirely corrupt, which it is. Mainstream media is very much corrupt, which it is. And we, the people, have to unite and as a people, demand the accountability, the justice, and the transparency that we deserve. So, end of rant.
End of rant. I'm going to step in. You said a lot of awesome things. First of all, righteous anger. Every American citizen should have righteous anger right now.
Amen.
You should, I am a Christian, but you should be pissed off. You should be pissed off that you've been lied to, that your government is coming for you, and that you don't know what duty is. You should be pissed off.
Thank you.
However, I want to do some crushing because Dina, you do an amazing job coming in and just gathering people together, talking about your core, recognizing that not everybody is on board, not everybody's willing to go the extra mile, and so you put time in where time is due. Ohio Brett is the massive connector. The massive connector. I say all the time, the
True.
flame, like 95% of what we do is connecting people together. And literally, I think Ohio Brett is actually better than we are at that. He connects people all the time. And honestly, that's what it's going to take for us to come together, is for us to work together. Another important thing you said, Dina, is that we're not all alike. We're not all supposed to think alike. We're supposed to question each other. That is the beauty in how God created us. And that's how we're able to find out the truth in the end, right? Because we ask questions. There's so many times, I can't even count how many times, we get information that then we question further and further and further, and it's completely different than when we received it. And that's important because it does show that we will go the extra mile. And a lot of things too, that we put out our opinion pieces to just make you critically think, because that's what we should be doing. We are all enough and perfectly created, that we don't have to just listen to what we're told. And we shouldn't just listen to what we're told. We should do everything out of love and kindness, but we shouldn't just like fall over and cave. And you mentioned Donald Trump. What's going on with Donald Trump is the same thing that happened with General Flynn. And why? Because of character. General Flynn rose to his position because of good character. So I find it hard to believe that his entire life has all of this good character and then randomly it just changed. No, it didn't just change. People are who they are. The same with Donald Trump. I think he's a jerk a lot of the times. I do. But what I do respect is that he's genuine. And he's genuinely a jerk sometimes. He's genuinely a jerk sometimes, but it really does show the people that he's not trying to hide what he's thinking. Every politician out there has another side to them that's not on camera that we don't all know. We probably wouldn't love every single thing about them if we did know it.
Nope.
So to me, I'm going to respect the policies that were better for my family and better for my country. And I'm going to respect the fact that, yeah, sometimes he's a jerk, but at least I know it. So he's truthful about it. So Nicole had mentioned that we got time with General Flynn this last week. I would say that is one of the Flames highlights, only because you really get one-on-one time with people that should be helping run our country, because they do have good character and they are smart and they want what's best for our country. It's America first in their mind. And those are the candidates that we want in office. And so it's great to have one-on-one time with them when they walk into a venue and see you putting up your backdrop for photo ops and whatever, and you're having a hard time, and General Flynn just walks over and is like, oh, here, let me help you, and helps you out, and then says, oh, well, come over here. Look at the backdrop stands we got from Home Depot, and just opens conversation. You just see their humility and the people that are really working hard. Dina, you're working hard. Ohio Brett, you're working hard. And it's those of us who want America first that are working the hardest and really just bringing light to the deep state, to all the corruption, to the mainstream media narrative that isn't right. It is a mockingbird and it's not the truth. And I'm praying right now that our next run in elections, we get people in office that throw the mainstream media out of the White House. And those of us who have been hustling and just really trying to bring truth to people, get a position to continue to tell the truth to people.
Anna, real quick, I'll jump in and then I'll shut up for the rest of the thing. But Anna did a fabulous job on the Flame this month. We got handed a local newspaper and also the Flame Press. So we did 50,000 copies for Derek Evans in West Virginia. We did a King County edition. Let's go King County. We did a masterpiece for a supplement company, 2,000 papers for a supplement company. We did the Flame and we did the Mill Creek View all in a month. So it was a lot of paper. And Anna did a fabulous job. And the other one thing I did want to say is we talked to a gal who was for Latinos for Trump, and Bianca Gracia, and she's on, I think, Newsmax, and they should have a paper in Spanish going out to LA. So these are the types of things we can do. When we put our heads together, we could have music newspapers. We could have anything that inspires people. But the thing is it's all inspiration, and God gave us that creativity to be able to move. Ohio Brett, your inspiration is connecting and getting out to 50 states. Who does that? And Dana, your constitutional knowledge is fabulous, and your work above and beyond your family obligation, you being a dad, your full-time job, and you take the time out to save America. And so I'd be the honor. The biggest thing I could think of here is I want a road trip to Toledo and then to Maine, and to get to those venues. So we need to figure that out, Brett.
We may have to do Maine and then come back to Toledo, because Dana is the host and I'm his co-host of the 3rd annual Maine Freedom Rally. It'll be, I want to make sure I get the date right. I think it's July 19th.
Correct. July 19th is the Friday. Okay. 3rd annual Maine Freedom Rally. And we're doing a joint event this year with Tiffany from Health Choice Maine, because they do a healthcare retreat every year. And so she is the full Saturday is going to be the healthcare Maine event. And then Sunday we pack up and head back. So it's a kind of over a 3-day span. And the Friday event is free. The Saturday event, if you want to attend, it is a cost to get in. But we are willing to trade labor for entrance fees, and hopefully be able to line up some really good guests.
Well, we'll have some great one. I know Dr. Lynn Lafferty from Fort Lauderdale. She loves lobster, and she wants to come up and check out Dana. Those nice shoes that you wear at every single. I got to get your same shoe.
What about the kilt? Wait a minute. Forget the shoes. What about the kilt?
What about you're asking me? Kilt. Am I going to wear the kilt? Is that what you want to know?
Yeah.
Because the answer is yes. That's why I got it specifically for the Maine Freedom Rally. Yeah, the kilt.
Well, I know that, Dana. Could I get permission to, with Anna and Nicole, what you're doing is so special, and you encourage all of us to get off the bench and get out into the game. Dana, you do the same. It's an honor to call you brother, and honor to call both of you sisters. And we press on. And it looks dark out there, but we at the local level are the light, and we're shining that light bright everywhere we go. And I'm honored to be on this team of 4, and we press on.
Well said. Well said. Thanks. And God bless all 3 of you. And I'm incredibly flattered and honored and grateful to have met you and have you as allies. And I at times start daring to think that we may see progress and eventually victory, and it's wonderful to think that. I try hard not to set myself up for disappointment in life in general, but that one, I start feeling optimistic when things do align. And you know what I'm talking about. Every once in a while everything just clicks, like the 4 of us just clicked and we started moving forward. And the 20 or 50 others that have come and gone before the 3 of you, I really don't care about. It was just a learning experience, and I learned what not to tolerate and how to judge I know my brothers and I know my sisters when I see them now. And so we're on a path, and I think we're going to eventually see victory, even though it will probably be very difficult. So
victory is happening. That's one thing. Just this last week being with General Flynn again, I feel like there were so many things that happened. And part of that is, God's laid it on my heart for over a month now. Act 333, and that's people getting 3 papers, giving it to 3 people, and asking those 3 people to get papers.
Yes.
And that is local action makes national impact.
Yes.
And that is the truth. The reality is every paper is an hour conversation that we all can't be having on a consistent basis, but we can all do ordering 3 papers, getting those 3 papers out, and asking 3 people to get papers. It really is super simple. And it's one of the, so just this month. So this month's paper is getting read. I actually sent it, an hour and a half ago to print.
Yes.
Oh, yes, that's like 2 months ago. So this month's paper, I sent it an hour and a half ago to print. And the front cover is on the Hatch Amendment. Yep. So how many people do we hear about being at school board meetings, fighting the school district? Yep. I mean, they're in meetings after meetings after meetings, right? The Hatch Amendment. So our kids are in what's called an opt-in program, right? So as soon as you sign them up for school, they're automatically opted into all the extracurriculars, the sex education, the bullying education, the taking the exams to see if you feel bullied or what's happening at home or whatever, things that have nothing to do with educating your children. Right. And so the Hatch Amendment actually allows parents to fill it out, turn it in, and it exempts them from being opted in to now being opted out. So the school actually has to notify you when they're doing these extracurricular activities and ask for your permission for your student to participate. This is huge, Dina, because if half the school did a Hatch Amendment, the school board would stop doing what they're doing, right? Yes. So if it does come down to local action, it does come down to you first, 100%. Your family and your community. We have to take things into our own hands. And so even just getting the Hatch Amendment information out to people is massive, because we don't have to be sitting at these school board meetings for hours and getting no results. Let's just show them we don't care about what they're saying.
Yes.
And so there's answers if we do it appropriately, but if people don't know what those answers are, it's really hard to implement them. Yes. So Act 333 is essential, especially this month. If you want to win over your school board, Hatch Amendment, ablechild.org.
Well said. So this just happened to be the nearest one to me when I grabbed it. So I'm just showing everyone, look, America, this is a newspaper. You can put your hands on it. You can open it. You can read it. If you want, you can line your birdcage with it, but read it. Read it. Make up your own mind if you think it's telling you the truth or not. And if you think you know someone that might want one, give it to them. If you get 3, read one yourself, give 2 away, and then take the one that you read if you want. I like to save at least 1 copy of each, especially the ones for which I write, because I'm a little vain, but give it away to someone else and encourage everyone to go to the website and subscribe to themselves. Ohio Brett?
I couldn't agree more. The Flame USA, everybody get it. And 333 inspires me. Dana, you encourage me to read my Bible every day. And Jeremiah 33:3, call unto me, and I will answer thee and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. That sounds like a great advertisement for the Flame USA. I love you guys. I got to roll. I'm getting on my Patriot Party News show. God bless you guys.
God bless you. Thanks for coming.
Love you.
Talk soon.
Love you.
So I'm really glad we got a chance to catch up, because it's done my heart good to talk to you guys. And I wish I had more time. Time is our most precious asset, and it seems like I don't have enough. Every single day I'm just pressed for time, and the very few times I have to sort of catch my breath, I just want to kind of lie down and catch my breath. But we're at war, and I've said this, you've said it, a lot of other friends and allies have said it. It is a war. The dark overlords, the evil, wealthy elites of the planet are trying to take over. They want to shut down our constitutional republic, because God forbid we have our freedom of choice and accountability and transparency, because they'll be forced to account for themselves and to pay for their crimes. and they don't want to do that because they're all doing very bad things. So
and
thank God for you.
Time is one of the things that the flame can solve. Again, it's a whole hour, like literally a whole hour of information, and it's so simple to just give away. So
Yep.
yeah.
So America, check out theflameusa.com, and you will see Anna and Nicole doing a whole bunch of events, podcasts. These are two of the hardest working patriots I know, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have them in my team. On my team, gives me great strength and courage and comfort. So check out the Flame USA, check out the podcast, watch their videos, figure out for yourself, are we telling you the truth? Or are you being lied to? Because the people that lie to you tell you, don't tell anyone, don't talk to anyone, don't believe anyone. The people that are telling you the truth say, don't take my word for it, research it for yourself. I will guide you. I'll show you the sources. I will show you where I found the information. You go and you look for yourself and decide if you think General Flynn is a horrible, evil man and a traitor to the country, then the evidence should show that. If instead General Flynn is a patriot and a real man of conscience and integrity and trying to do the right thing and preserve our constitutional republic, and despite hostile opposition from very sinister, nefarious forces, then the record will show that.
That's
won't
right.
it?
Yeah, you got it. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure, ladies. Always a pleasure. So God bless you. I hope you both have a marvelous night, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon. So until that time, I am Dana, the Angry Citizen, and bidding all of you good night, America and planet Earth. And again, let's all work together and get on the same page. All constitutional Americans demand the accountability, transparency from our government, and that they account for everything they have done and be either rewarded for doing the right thing or punished for doing the wrong thing, as our laws would demand. So Dana, the Angry Citizen, signing off. God bless you all, and see you next time.